Might as well do a quick unboxing of this RedDragon keyboard mouse combo. This is a mechanical keyboard, RGB with brown switches. Not super loud, definitely not clicky. There's just a little bit of a tactile feel there, tiny feedback. But they should hold up. So nice full-size keyboard, and also has a mouse combo. This was also relatively inexpensive compared to, of course, other expensive mechanical keyboards. I hear something. Something is in here. What is this? Oh, keycap puller. Cool. So yeah, this is cool. You can pull your keys off if you want, replace them, do custom keycaps. All right, I'm gonna get this all plugged in. Let's check this mouse out. This mouse is cool, pretty slick looking. It's got a couple extra buttons here. Nice clicky mouse. Seems like a comfortable enough shape. All right, let's fire it up. Here we are, it's the moment of truth. Let's see if all our hard work was worth it. I've got everything plugged in, keyboard, mouse, monitor, and I'm gonna hit the big on-off button and see what happens. Oh, that was, don't forget your power supply switch. Let's try that again. Okay. So what it did was, it did some sort of a self-test and powered up, rebooted, and now I'm in the BIOS. There's our BIOS screen, and now we're gonna have to go through and set and make sure all of these things are correct. We'll go through these before we fiddle around with this too much. We'll want to, oh, okay, the mouse works. We'll want to confirm some of these settings. So for example, I know my RAM speed is too low right now, should be 5600. So I'll have to go through and set that. And we'll poke around in here in a bit, but I just want to make sure that everything's working as expected. Yeah, that's got pretty, you can see everything is nicely synced through the RGB, which is going to be cool once we decide on what this flow is going to want to look like. But I should put this side on just to keep the air through it here. But yeah, nice RGB sync, at least through the CPU fan, and of course the case fans, all being controlled from the same controller, which is pretty slick. Okay, so I'll want to grab my flash drive, upgrade the BIOS first, and then we'll start messing with the settings. Hey everybody, so next up, here's what I did. Went into the flash options and used the BIOS that we had downloaded previously, flashed this, which is pretty straightforward. You pick the file and then it reboots, it applies the flash, gives you a little progress bar and reboots. So now I'm on the latest version of the firmware. And then the other thing I did was I just used, it did auto detect my processor and the correct memory, but so it has it correctly detected the brand, size, and even the timing, which I confirmed all these timings with the package. However, it was only telling me it was running at 4800 megahertz, even though the RAM frequency is 56. So I just went into the memory settings, applied this profile. It has this XMP profile for the memory. I just applied it, saved, and rebooted, and now everything's running as it should. So the only other thing I did was just adjust the clock. So there you have it. From a BIOS standpoint, all the hardware checks out. The one interesting thing about this is, as you can see, it's correctly detecting the CPU fan speeds and CPU temperature, but because I have all of the fans plugged into that one fan controller, it's not detecting them at all. So I'm going to do a little digging before I go too much further to see if I can correct that, because of course the fans are spinning, but it's just that the system isn't detecting them, which under certain conditions it could be throttling those up if it needed to, and it doesn't appear to be interacting with that. So I'm going to do a little quick search and see if that's something I can fix easily. So now that we're pretty sure everything's working correctly, I just went through here and added a few zip ties, just try to neaten these things down. And word of advice, when you're adding zip ties, be sure to add them in places that you are pretty confident in their permanence. Things that you think you might need to loosen, add to, reposition something, you might want to go with either Velcro straps if you have them, like some of the ones that came with this, or just, you know, twist tie type things, because if you do need to reposition, getting in here, once these wires are tightened down, and these you probably could get in here and clip without damaging your wires, but like these, for example, if I had to try to clip that off, it's going to be pretty tough to not also damage the wire. So, but I'm pretty confident that those are going to stay the way they are. Those are just to the case fan in the back. So other places, I just kind of neatened things up with some twist ties just to keep it out of the way, keep it from catching on themselves, or if I have to take this panel back on and off. Yeah, so I'm ready to close this up. I won't be adding anything for a while until I get a video card, but that's going to be a while from now. So the only kind of mess under here is this serial ATA line that I had to add, and that is powering this fan hub here. So anyway, I'm going to just make sure that that's snug. Look at that stinker, it's a little loose. Okay, make sure these are all set on there nice, and I'm gonna close this up and we'll start working on the rest.